if you're an addict or an alcoholic in recovery, like humility is not something that you have naturally, or maybe you had it once and you don't have it anymore. That's why it's important to have other people in your circle. And I talk about that all the time. That's why I say, in addiction and recovery, like you can't do this alone. And the great news is you don't have to, right?
Because I'm like, be who you want to be. But if you're being who you want to be because you're running from something else, then that's not who you want to be. So you're not actually being who you want to be. You're being who you want others to believe you are.
Woo! All right. Woo! Are we here? Welcome to the show, baby. Welcome to the show. We're going to have a great show. We got a great show. I'm so excited about this show. I don't even know what to think or say or... What did I say? Think?
Yep.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to Talk Hard Podcast. My name is Marty Norman. I am just excited today. What about you, Brian?
I love your tattoo, by the way. Say less.
Oh, is that for... Are you trying to say something?
Nothing at all.
Say less.
No.
Say less. On Talk Hard Podcast, we do not say less. We say more. We do it, and we do it in an abusive, abrupt manner sometimes.
Sure.
Some may view it abusive or abrupt or
offensive.
Or offensive. Lots of offensive.
Sensitive. Do we need to put like one of those things up?
Like a
parental advisory?
Welcome to the show, baby. My name is Marty. This is Brian Gordon. He is the man. He's gonna see what he does every week. Is I ask Brian. I say, "Hey, Brian, what are we talking about this week?" And he likes to surprise me. I
don't know.
And this is generally what he says. What is it you say again? Say it one more time for the people.
I don't know.
I hate it when he does that. I love it so much.
Or you'll see.
What are you doing? How's your weekend going? How was your 4th?
My weekend was amazing.
What'd you do? Did you blow anything up?
No. Well, I mean, we shot some stuff in a safe environment.
No one was harmed in
Most of the children were behind me.
Oh, there was always that one, though.
Yeah.
There's always that one. That kid was me when I was a child. I'm like right up in the mix trying to...
My mom always said, don't play on the roof, you might fall.
My mom never
Don't
said
run in
that.
the street, you might get shot.
I don't think that's how it goes, but I love it.
It does in our streets.
Put that needle down! Oh, wait.
No.
That was a different childhood.
They didn't even bother with that one.
Welcome to the show, babe. What are we talking about today?
I guess we could call it truth.
We're going to talk about the truth. Our truth is the only truth that matters. Your truth is nothing. You are nothing. You're never going to be nothing. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm on one today.
No, but you're on the right topic. Here we go.
All right.
These are what we call limiting beliefs. Some would call them character defects. It's semantics.
So
right?
I do have a whole plethora of those, by the way. So does Chris Cobb, though. Everybody say hi to Chris Cobb on the keyboards over there. Chris on the corner.
The man.
Chris the corn on the cob. Everybody put hi down there. He feels left out sometimes. I'm gonna get him. I told him we need to put in this far corner over here a little PIP of Chris just being like
like they got on the Price is Right.
Yeah. What was this? Anyway,
oh my gosh. Yes,
truth,
please say what's
defects.
up to Chris. I was going to say he's the man behind the boys, but that just sounds really
Sounds good to me.
It's
dangerously illegal.
That probably offends somebody.
So the truth, character defects, a.k.a. limiting beliefs. Tell me what yours are.
In the comments below.
Okay.
Oh, wait, was you talking to me?
I'm talking to you. And you. Go ahead. You can comment below. Please do.
Oh, God. Character defects. So, in the world of recovery, right? In the world of recovery, which everything I do falls back to that, right? Because it's my foundation for life. It's my... It's when I was born again, when I found recovery. That's a new life for me, right? The old me died, new me is here. So it's step 6 and 7 in our program in the step work, right? If you're a 12-stepper like I am, some of you may not be a 12-stepper, but I still believe even those of you who are not 12-steppers and don't work your recovery on that pathway, character defects is character defects and shortcomings, right? Mm-hmm. That is everything. That is the basis. That is the problems. That is the reasons. That is the excuses. That is everything that I was prior to recovery. that's everything that caused me to be who I am, right? So it caused my behaviors, it caused my reactions, it caused my actions, it caused my non-reactions, it caused, like, it was the excuse for everything. So everything that I do in life is revolving around which character defect has showed its ugly head today.
Okay.
You know, and in our literature, it doesn't say when these characters. So you can work through all the steps, and you can write down all your character defects, and you can begin to work on that process. So my character defects list was very, very long.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and I worked through a large percentage of those. So the thing about character defects is we have some that we like and that we don't want to let go of. Step 6 is we are entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Mm-hmm. Entirely ready. All defects of character. Entirely ready. Okay. So I wasn't entirely ready to remove quite a few of them, you know, and the hope to that is, like, you don't have to be entirely ready to remove them all right then, but you're going to work on them. Right, you're going to remove the ones that are causing a lot of destruction, self-harm, and harming others in your life. You're going to work on those immediately, and then hopefully, in working in those, you're going to work on the ones you kind of hold on to, you kind of cling to, you know, okay, in hopes. But in our literature, it says that when these character defects, it doesn't say if, you know what I mean? It doesn't say if they come back. It says when they come back. Are you going to be equipped enough? Are you going to be surrounded with the right people and the right, the right mindset and all these different things so you can effectively first off, become aware of them, and second off, begin to work on them. So a lot of my character defects have shown their ugly head again. A lot of the ones I've worked on before, and it's so amazing, Brian, that you brought up this topic. I'm so thrilled that somehow. Wait a minute.
I'm with you.
You've been spying on me? Is there something going on that I don't know about? What? Because I literally, for the last 2 days, been really delving into, okay, what's happening in my life? What am I not doing that I used to do in my recovery? And in what ways is my character defects affecting my life today and affecting those of the people that I care for? And it's funny, I don't know, that's a G thing right there that you brought this up. Either that or you got Chris Cobb making some spy techs around here somewhere.
Well, your camera's hooked up to my phone, so I see you getting angry out front all day long. But character defects. One of my main character defects was anger, resentments. Envy was one I worked on. That was pretty easy to let go of, but patience. And I've been driving for the last couple of years, and I just recently on the drive here today realized that my patience is gone, because they say if you want to test a man's spirituality, see what he's like behind the wheel of a car. Okay. That's fair. And
for the last couple of years, I have been that guy that's just like F-bombs flying, you're an idiot, you're this, you're that, road raging to a small degree. Jess will disagree. She would say to a mass degree. So ebbs and flows, right? Yep. So patience is definitely one, and for me, a lot of it is insecurities. Recently, a lot of those have been popping up, and it's unconscious, or as you like to say, unconscious insecurities that I'm not sure of. So I feel like I'm just rambling because I'm nervous. Am I nervous right now?
We're getting somewhere, and that's what I love about this. So in my life, like 5 years ago when I moved here, the things that have happened this year alone were unimaginable, right? These are limiting beliefs, character defects, all these things. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not going to make enough money. I'm too jealous and all these things. And I turn these things into character assets. Because they still have to drive you, right? Like, I'm not going to not be jealous. Right. Jealousy means I care and I need to pay attention. It doesn't mean I got something wrong with me and I'm insecure. You can take it to that level.
You can.
But the instant reaction of jealousy typically just means I care about this a lot and I don't like what's going on and I need to pay more attention. That's all it really means up front. Someone's talking to your wife and you're like, what the heck's going on? She's laughing a lot. What's going on? Over there? You know what I mean? Like,
she never laughs at me.
You know, or why is my friend over there hanging out with the other guy more than me? You know, like these are things that trigger jealousy, right?
Why does he have that? And,
right. Yeah. You know, so they say jealousy is I want what you have. Envy is I want what you have and I don't want you to have it. So jealousy is a pretty common thing.
Okay.
You can't get rid of it. So I've learned how to take all these things and drive me with them. Like reverse the action that's happening because I'm not just going to get rid of my anger. I check my motives, same way you do. When my wife will say the same thing about me with driving. I hate, because to me, this is a simple concept.
Driving a car?
Yeah.
And lanes and
just
merging.
And just drive, like I've been doing it since I was 13. To me, now,
simple.
Here's the problem. In reality, to a lot of other people, it is not that simple. It is a very stressful. It is a very tough situation for people.
I had to remind myself today as I was passing this dude laying on my horn because he was forgive me if you're a left lane driver and you want to do the little under the speed limit in the left lane.
Okay.
Because I hate you.
Also known as the passing lane.
Also known as the passing lane.
I got you.
It is a left lane. It is actually illegal for you to drive over there if you're not passing. So if you're not passing, kindly get the F out of my way because I am constantly passing, okay? But I had to remind myself today, and I did this. I'm like, man, I have no idea where that person's at right now. You know, where they're at mentally, physically, spiritually. Maybe something tragic just happened to them.
Right, their wife could have just left them, and they're zoned the hell out. Right. They don't even know where they're going right now, right?
And and that realization today made me like, because you told me about character defects. You want to talk about character defects, and I'm driving thinking about character defects as I'm laying on the horn, yelling, right? And I'm like, oh, hey. By the grace of God, there go I, right? And I really had to think about it. Like, I have no idea where that person's at in their life. Like, that person, like you said, something tragic could have just happened. Maybe they can't see. Maybe they're just mentally ill.
Well, that's the thing is character defects or limiting beliefs is like a common term amongst like coaching, psychology, things like that.
Yes.
They're choices. I'm going to choose to get angry because I believe that you should be smarter than that, and I believe that you should drive like me. The biggest problem that I have in life is that I expect myself out of others.
Oh my God, that's everything.
And it drives me nuts. I'm like, what do you mean you don't get it?
Yeah.
How can you not get it? I'm not a genius over here. We're just adding some things together.
I'm so happy you brought this up, man. I really need to work on some things lately. This topic that you presented to me like an hour ago, I've really got me thinking on some stuff I need to work on, and because that is everything to me is my expectations and what I put my expectations on other people. First off, expectations always leads to disappointments. Disappointments always lead to resentments. Resentments always lead to me acting out of pocket or getting high or drinking. If that goes on for too long.
I'm the typical self-sabotage, right? Like, I'm going to put myself in a situation to ruin it. You know, I'm that guy. I'm gonna expect the worst out of every situation possible to the point where I won't do most of them. Yeah. That is how I was hardwired for a very long time. I made a decision 7 months ago, maybe a little longer than that I was going to shift life completely. And that's when I really started diving deep into all the things that are going on, like inside my head that we talk about.
Yeah.
And we were up at the cabin because we bought property this weekend. So we bought property on a lake.
By the way,
that
congratulations.
My wife has wanted to be on forever. Thank you. And I was like, damn. Like, I was thinking about posting about it. And I'm like, I'm going to seem like an arrogant asshole.
Yeah, I get that.
Wife just bought her toy Volkswagen. I finished certifications, change a career, get a raise. We buy the Porsche, and now we're buying a lake house, and it's July. People are gonna wonder
7 months in
if I won the lotto, if I'm just a dick, and it's not that. It's I'm here differently.
Yeah.
So things are just it's not like things are just popping up. I'm creating them, and I firmly believe that. Like 100%. She's wanted to be on that lake forever. We've been talking about it since the day that she and I started dating, and then we heard about this property, and then it was gone. We're like, oh, that sucks, right?
Same property?
Same exact property, right? It was gone. Well, then we met the guy who bought it, and so then we went to look at another property.
Wait. How'd you meet the guy that bought it?
It's a private lake. Like,
so it's a small community.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we run into the guy. He tells us that he bought the property, and we're talking about things and yada, yada, yada. A few months go by, and then another property comes up. So we go to look at that one. It's a little more than we want to spend, but we're still talking about it. Well, now he wants that one.
Oh, so he's wanting to switch up.
So we're like, well, hey, if we back out of that one, can we take yours? He said 1,000%. So the original property that we wanted to work on, is the one we ended up getting. Except we got a little bit of an upgrade because now it's got two new, well, not new, but newer cabins on them that we can turn into places. And a lot of the work's been done because he's been up here every weekend. So that's what I mean. Like, these things are just falling into place, but it's a mindset. Like, I have to choose every day when I wake up. I have to choose: am I going to let my character defects run my life, or am I going to turn them into assets and let them drive me through the day?
Yeah.
And it's not easy.
We had an old guy in the program. He used to always say that. His name was Grumpy. He
How you got that name?
Dude, he's one of them old school AA, not no bullshit or no, you know what I mean? Just call it how he sees it. And he used to always say that. He says the great thing about recovery is that, and when you get to where you want to be, you stop fighting your character defects and you turn those character defects into character assets, you know?
And it's as simple as a choice. That's what I want the people listening to understand. It's just a simple shift in the mindset. And I know I say that coming from a different place now, and it wasn't that simple in the beginning. But when you want something bad enough, it's quite easy.
Yeah. Well,
so what do you need to work on?
So
talk to me.
So there's a book called Drop the Rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a book that I forget the author right off the top of my head, but Drop the Rock is essentially step 6 and 7, character defects and shortcomings. And there's a passage in there that talks about dropping. So the Drop the Rock concept came from having these rocks around you and trying to, like, so there was a story in there about Mary. There's this 12 steppers. They all got on this boat and they're taking the boat off, and Mary is running up down the dock, right? Mary's late, and they're all turn around and look at her, and then Mary's late, and they're like, "Hey, Mary." And one of the guys said, "Oh, she's late. She's not going to make it." And then a couple of 12 steppers said, "No, she can make it. She can jump in the water, Mary. Swim. You can catch us, right?" So she jumps in the water. She's swimming, hard. She's going hard. She's feeling good, and she starts to sink. Well, she comes back up, and she hears all the people, cheering her on, saying, "Come on, Mary, you can do it. Drop the rock." So, long story short, she noticed that she's carrying rocks, trying to swim with these rocks. These rocks are your character defects.
Okay.
All right. So the whole point of the thing is drop the rocks, let go.
Right.
Let go of the rocks.
Right.
And let that shit go, and you can swim. Right. So they say pride is the number one. I forget. C.L. Lewis says that, or C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis, yeah.
C.S. Lewis says that pride is the number one character defect. He uses different words, different terminology, but that's the number one character defect. Self-importance and pride is, pride before the fall.
Well, that's
right?
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was talking about truth, and pride is typically driven by a lie. Mm-hmm. I'm going to boast because I want others to believe something that even I don't believe about myself.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I used to know this girl years ago, and she was dating this guy who was super toxic, and I ended up running into him, and he used to cheat on her all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I'd run into him from time to time, and over years, they were together, 5 years, and over the years that I would run into them at different bars and different places that we were frequenting, I noticed he was very insecure. So he was living this like, he's in shape, good-looking dude, and yet couldn't hold down a relationship to save his life because he was always jumping to the next. Well, after conversations with him, it was some massive insecurity.
Yeah.
He did not want her to get close, and so it was constant. It was like we break up, we take breaks, we do this. It was like a nonstop revolving door of this like toxic issue.
It's pretty common.
And so I was learning that this ego that he had, because he needed to believe that other people wanted him bad enough, that he was constantly chasing the next thing while trying to keep her around, because that's what made him happy, but not being honest with her about it. And I'm like, dude, what do you, like, I don't get it personally, but I understand the concept of what you're dealing with. So with him, it was just, I'm living a lie. It is that simple. Because I'm like, be who you want to be. But if you're being who you want to be because you're running from something else, then that's not who you want to be. So you're not actually being who you want to be. You're being who you want others to believe you are. Does this make sense? Or are we touching sensitive subjects?
I know nothing about nothing you're saying.
You're spying on me.
Chris is feeling insecure right now. No, but okay, so
You're just living a lie. Is my point to all this is like all of it comes down to the simple concept that you're living a lie. Most people don't even bring up the word truth unless they don't believe what you're saying.
Okay.
You don't even hear the word truth.
So some of the certain things in order to correct character defects is first off become aware of them.
Yes.
Right?
Honestly aware of them, not just aware of them. There's
Well,
a massive difference between the two.
There's also a massive difference between becoming aware of like, yeah, I do that, and yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Right.
You know, and then humility seems to be the end all be all. Like becoming a lot of what our 12-step program and you know, admitting character defects and working on character defects is one of the number one things in correcting those is humility. And that's why, you know, if you're an addict or an alcoholic in recovery, like humility is not something that you have naturally, or maybe you had it once and you don't have it anymore. That's why it's important to have other people in your circle. And I talk about that all the time. That's why I say, you know, in addiction and recovery, like you can't do this alone. And the great news is you don't have to, right? I need people in my life to call me out on my bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? We all do, because I'm not aware of it. I don't see it. And even when people call me out, like if somebody's too close to me, and sometimes I don't see it either. Like, what is it? You self can't see self.
Yeah.
Right? And I firmly believe in that, because I can go around all day stepping on people's toes and not even become aware of it. And, you know, on the drive, this drive was pretty profound for me on the way here today.
Okay.
You know, on this drive today, I was reflecting on some of the ways that I've just been acting, you know, not just the small things, and the way I've been behaving. And when I'm around a bunch of my dudes, and I start, you know, we start cutting on people, or we start, you know, one of the things I hate about myself is gossip. Like, I hate people that gossip.
Yeah.
And then I was reflecting. I'm like, holy shit, I've been doing that lately a lot, you know? So a lot of character defects are starting to resurface. And if I look back on things, like there's some things I can do. There's some ways I can start correcting these things. First off is admitting, which I'm doing right here on live on national television. No, but you know, there's a lot of stuff I can work on. I'm really glad you brought this up, because I'm going to begin to start working on some of these things.
So it starts for me every morning. Your life starts the minute you wake up every morning.
24 hours at a time.
Like, the minute you wake up, you make a decision that will impact the rest of your life.
Right.
Literally the moment you wake up. If you wake up and you're stressed out and you need to check your phone and you're too worried about what's going to happen at work, even though it hasn't even happened yet, and you're anticipating traffic that may never be there, and you're expecting a fight with your loved one that may never happen, like, if this is how you're waking up, that's how your day's going to go.
Agreed.
If you wake up and
That
say,
first
I'm going to
15
take
minutes,
it for
yeah.
the way that it's going to come today, and I'm going to conquer this, period. And I do that every day, and trust me, there are plenty of days where I'm like, F you.
Why did I do this?
Like, well, I don't even want to wake up right now. And I start getting in that loop of, like, anticipating problems, like, who's not going to show up, and I'm going to end up getting stuck doing this, and yada, 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 right? Like, I do that still.
Yeah.
But I have to fight it. And so the more you fight it and the more you actively make decisions, because what you're living off of and what most of us do, those character defects are habits. Mm-hmm. They happen without even thought. They are so hardwired into your unconscious that it's not even a thought. Yeah. It's just a reaction that's triggered by who knows what at this point.
Well, I think a large part for me personally of everything that's wrong in my world today, which, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm like, there's a saying that Brian Kendrick used to always say, you cannot complain from a grateful heart. And that's just 100% fact. Like, a light, you know, light and dark cannot occupy the same space at the same time. It's just impossible. Just like you cannot complain from a grateful heart. And as long as you're staying grateful and you're living in the gratitude, it's very easy to see the solutions. It's very easy to see your faults and your defects and all this stuff when you're in that mindset. So waking up in a negative mindset, I woke up late, I woke running, stubbed my toe, I kicked a cat, I didn't get this done, oh shit, this is going to happen at work, the traffic, this, that. That is a horrible place to wake up. And you know this as well because we talked about this during the whole cold shower phase that we were going through, and that was wonderful because that was waking up on purpose.
Still doing it, by the way.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm not. I did it for my 28 days. But waking up on purpose is very important instead of just waking up on accident. And that's something I've slipped into as well lately. So, again, very much appreciate this show. Very much appreciate this topic.
It's just a matter, again, I'm going to say it until I'm purple in the face. It's this whole mindset. Like, do I want to turn the cold water on? It's easier in the summertime. Don't get me wrong. But it's just that I just know that I have to make that choice. It's as simple as, like, I used to get up. I still get up way before my wife, but she actually gets up and sees me before I leave the house now because I start a little bit later. So I've been actively trying to go in there and make the bed. Because I used to try to make half of it, and then I started waking her up, so I stopped doing that. There's just something about completing tasks real early on in the day that just puts you on, like, a mission.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're like, well, damn, I've already done 4 things. It's 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, what's next, world, you know? And so for anybody out there that is trying to challenge this, well, my life sucks, bring it.
Yeah.
I will give you something to be grateful for. And I don't mean like I'll give you something. I'm going to help you find something in your own life that you can be grateful for. Because if you don't start noticing the little things, the big things will never come.
No, agree.
You have to, like, you woke up. I'm going to just be grateful for that.
You woke up on this side of the dirt. Right?
Like, you simply woke up.
Yeah.
You got to talk to people. Mm-hmm. You clearly still have access to the internet, or you wouldn't even be hearing this conversation right now.
You're welcome.
Here's 4 things we just listed right off the jump. You know what? Like, we take so many things for granted that we forget to be grateful.
It's like, it's not something like you guys out there. It's very important. Like it is something that we all slip into. It's easy to do. We got the rat race of life going on, and we got all this stuff going on in the world, and we get caught up in the whirlwind of negative thinking, of waiting on the shoe to drop, all that shit that happens, especially in an addict or an alcoholic's mind. And it's just, I hope this show and I hope this topic, I hope it will set you back. Look, being humbled is one of the most important things that you could ever do, right? And it's sometimes, while you're in the middle of being humbled, it's one of the hardest things you can go through too. But something happened to me in Vegas, where I woke up the next morning and I was just pounded with a huge amount of gratitude. And also, I woke up and I was just like, oh my God. Because I had some thoughts, and I had some thoughts where I was going to do something, and I just woke up next morning, and I was like, oh my God, I'm glad I didn't do that. But that moment was very humbling for me, right? And so and a lot of times, like, I can get humbled by somebody hurting my feelings, somebody not doing what I expected them to do, and it pissed me off, and somebody telling me no, or somebody not giving me the attention I thought they should have gave me, and then I'll go home and I'll go over that for the next 2 hours in my head, and that's humbling, right? And what it boils down to is it hurt my feelings.
Yep. And
I just hope that I'm not the only one who looks at it like that. You know what I mean? Because I need that. You've heard me say a million times, I do not grow unless I struggle. Well, that's a struggle for me. Getting my feelings hurt, being stepped around, all these different things that happen to me in my day. If I look at them with the right mindset, it can be truly inspiring for me to grow and push me to grow.
Yeah. I mean, they say begin everything with the end in mind.
Okay.
Right? You should always start everything knowing where you're going to end up.
Right.
If you want to live the best life possible, start with an end that you can never reach.
Gotcha.
And you will live amazing. Like, it is scary taking on more debt and buying new things and doing things, is sure. But
Especially
if I live my life being afraid of those things, everything would pass me by. Because on the one side of the coin is we lose money. On the other side of the coin is still the same option of we build this grand, huge, fun place for the family to enjoy for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
Like, there's always the other side to the coin, no matter how you look at it, because life is about balance, period. For every negative, there is a positive. This is scientific fact. People just don't believe that to be true within their life, and you can challenge me on that, too, and I'll find it. Bring me your negative, I'll find your positive.
Guarantee it.
That's just how I'm wired, which is a blessing, but I still have to battle those things.
Yeah.
So, waking up with just a different mindset, put your feet down, make a decision. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. What am I going to do today? Go. Go. There is no looking back. There's no stopping. Don't hesitate. You're going to trip. Go. What are you waiting for?
You're going to stub your damn toe. It's okay. Right? It's okay.
So my simplest form is, and I tell people this all the time, and I just say this to you, go be great.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
And if they did, they're going to get all the damn credit for it.
Have a great day, guys. Like and subscribe. Don't forget to share this out with your friends, your loved ones. Let them know that we are here and we are talking hard. Have a great day.